This is video 2 explaining the whys and purpose of the front squat to press, front squat to push press, and military press, as well as the reasoning behind different combinations of these movements and the training adaptations we can expect from each. Starting with the front squat, it's a sagittal plane movement where your feet are about shoulder width apart and toes are slightly externally rotated. The barbell is going to rest on your anterior deltoids and your elbows should stay up the whole time. In the eccentric portion, as you descend, the knees and hips will flex together, and the bar should maintain its position of around the midfoot area or where shoelaces are. The purpose of the front squat is to develop that force production in the lower body, and the postural strength there is the foundation for almost every other power movement, especially in this video, because it trains how to produce and transfer force upwards through that kinetic chain. Common errors include things like the heels lifting, which is usually from limited dorsiflexion capabilities, or letting the chest drop forward, or the knees caving inward, which is valgus collapse, or drifting too far forward, causing shear stress on the knee. This can be corrected with proper alignment and bracing, keeping your weight on your midfoot to your heel, initiating movement with your hips and knees at the same time. The front squat to press has the same setup as the front squat, except once the hip and knee are fully extended in the concentric portion, you want to drive out of that squat and continue that upward momentum into a controlled press. The quads and the glutes drive the ascent, and the delts and triceps finish that press. The purpose and focus of this is the timing and total body synchronization through that kinetic chain. As the bar moves, you should see an acceleration from the bottom portion to the top. The most common error is pressing too early before the full hip and knee extension, as well as the bar not traveling in a straight vertical line. This can be fixed by cueing the person to finish with their legs first. Moving into the front squat to push press, it's more focused on explosive power. Synchronized with the ascent of the front squat is a dip and drive leg contribution to impart upward velocity to the bar before that press out. While the front squat to press is more of a strength and hypertrophy focus, the front squat to push press is more of a power and rate of force development focus. The most common error is using strength rather than the momentum from the flexion and extension of the hips, which can be fixed with cueing. The military press is mostly isolated to the upper body. Feet are just under the hips and the bar should start in the front rack position. Neutral pelvis and braced core should be maintained throughout the movement, and the bar should move vertically and there shouldn't be flexion or extension of the hips, which can be seen in the video showing the improper form. To fix the flexion and extension, a lighter bar should be used in order to maintain the strict form, because the purpose is to build overhead strength, shoulder stability, and control under the load, rather than using momentum or lumbar compensation. Ordering these movements is completely dependent on your goals and also will result in different training adaptations. For example, the front squat to press has more of a strength, coordination, and control focus, and will result in greater time under tension for the muscles involved, while the front squat to push press, which again involves that hip flexion and extension quickly, will focus more on power, speed, and that force transfer. Going from front squat to military press to front squat to press and then push press is good for teaching progression and preserving movement quality. However, it's also the most fatiguing, so by the time you reach the push press, your stabilizing muscles and your CNS nervous system, it's already taxed. So while it's great for technical development and muscular endurance, it's not ideal if your goal is to move the most weight or train maximal power output. So if power is the focus, then starting off with that front squat to push press is going to allow the maximal rate of force development, but the rest of that circuit is going to transition into more strength and hypertrophy endurance. Putting power first requires that CNS to be strong and fresh, so this is not ideal for high volume hypertrophy work.